If two candidates walk in an investment banking interview, one is technically strong with all the knowledge of valuation, DCF, comparables, precedent transaction, M&A, IPO, but average in communication. And the other candidate is very good in communication, clearly presents things, and is with confidence, but does not have clear understanding of IPO process, mergers or acquisition, understands basics of financial statements and everything. In most of the cases, after the interviewer, investment bankers will always try to pick the second candidate because he can learn upon the technical aspects, but communication and all of the soft skills that this candidate has is not very easy to build in a short period of time. Most people think that investment banking is all about financial modeling and valuation, but the people who actually enter into the industry and grow fast into it are not always the smartest one, but they are the ones with the right soft skill sets. In this video, we are going to break down top 5 soft skills that actually separate top bankers and how you can start building upon this even before entering into the industry. So hello there, my name is Karan Team. I'm an ex-investment banker turned founder, and through Encoding Careers, we help you break into investment banking the right way. So starting directly with soft skill number 1, that is strong communication. Here, communication is not about speaking more, it's about explaining things clearly. In investment banking, you are going to be constantly explaining complex things to your clients, to your seniors, and your team members. If you're someone who can simplify things, you become most valuable because that is the skill set which most of the people lack. So, for an example, let's assume you are working upon a DCF valuation for a fundraising deal, and here you are working with your client and getting information from him. Now, once the entire DCF valuation is done, your responsibility is to explain that DCF valuation to your client to help him understand what is valuation, how did you calculate the entire valuation, what was the method used. And if you are someone who explains it only using technical language of this is FCFE, this is cost of capital, beta, then your client is not going to understand this heavy jargon. Your responsibility as an investment banker is to simplify these terms, because in investment banking you will not always work with clients who understand these financial concepts. You might work sometimes with clients who are from pharma industry, healthcare industry, who don't even know f about the entire financials, right? So explaining DCF is like a next level task for you. So here, if you don't have clarity in your mind of what is DCF, what is valuation, then you will not be able to explain it in simple language to your clients. So here you can start practicing this communication skills by working upon a project first. Use ChatGPT and other AI tools to break down these complex terms into simple language and try explaining it to your parents, friends, family to start understanding if they are able to understand what you are trying to say. So here you could use structure like point, explanation, conclusion, where you start with a particular point. So let's take for an example, you start explaining valuation. So you mentioned that we are now going to understand valuation, then you explain the entire valuation thing, and then you give the conclusion of what actually valuation is. So this is the structure. Like, you can use your structure as well, whatever you find convenient. This is just for reference, and try keeping your answers crisp and logical, as we also try to do through the videos. Mention the point, we explain it, and then we conclude the entire thing. So that's soft skill number 1, strong communication. Now moving on to soft skill number 2, organization. Now, organization does not mean a company or a big organization. It means staying organized. Now, investment banking is a high pressured environment with multiple tasks running together. So, when we talk about investment banking, it is all going to be about deals. And deals are not just one step process that you work and the entire deal gets done. It's a step by step process that lot of things go together simultaneously, and you are at core of lot of things. In our previous video on mergers and acquisition, we understood that investment bankers have to work with a lot of stakeholders like lawyers, consultants, financiers, and you as an investment banker are handling all of these people. Now, if you don't stay organized in this kind of environment, you might miss out on deadlines, and here mistakes are very very costly, because you are working upon 1,000 crores of worth of deal, and you slip out a one conversation or one email, then the deal might be on stake. Being organized in this kind of environment helps you survive and perform the best, because it creates a credibility in mind of your seniors. So when these kind of high stake responsibility are needed to be done, they come to you because they know that if we give you any particular thing to handle, you will be organized. Whenever we need anything from your end, we will receive it on time. So taking example of deals in investment banking, you are going to work upon 4 to 5 multiple deals at a time, right? And every kind of deal will have certain deliverable. It might be research, it might be decks, it might be valuation models, and that is how you are going to work upon multiple deliverables. Lot of revisions will take place on these kind of deliverables, and you also have to maintain client timelines. Now, how to do this? So here my personal experience of being in investment banking, to handle multiple deliverables, I always used to maintain proper folders of every client, which client is ongoing, which client is almost going to be done, which client is already closed. And that's how in every folder there were multiple client documents, multiple client lists that I used to maintain, and in every client list I used to add all of these deliverables. Now the deliverables also have to be named according to their version. So for an example, the a document you would save for deliverable would be client name, valuation, and version number. So version would be V1, V2. Since you are going to get a lot of revisions from your seniors, from your clients, you need to maintain this version numbers as well. And finally, on the client timelines, there were these different Gantt charts that we used to create. Now these charts are maintained on Excel, where you are tracking on what has to be done in what particular time of the entire deal. So entire deal would be around 4 to 6 months, right? And every week is noted down so that you have this task to be done in that particular week. Alongside all of these things to do, you have to maintain your to-do list for what are the tasks that you are going to do in a particular day. Now, since you are not working in investment banking, if you are working in investment banking, then you could do all of these things. If you are not, then you could start by creating these kind of mock client folders. You could start adding files to that. You could add version numbers. You could start maintaining your to-do list, and that's how you would be ready for investment banking deals. So that is on skill number 2, organization. Next, moving on to soft skill number 3, it is interpersonal skills. When we talk about investment banking, most people have a thought of front office in the mind, and front office in investment banking is going to be client facing. And here, how you present yourself matters a lot. So it's not just about the knowledge that you carry, it's the trust and confidence that you bring to the table whenever you are having these kind of conversation will be what matters. So people prefer working with someone who communicates well and presents things professionally. If both the candidates are very good in technical knowledge, if both the candidates are very good in communicating, but they are not presenting themselves well, then it will boil down on how they have presented themselves. So if one candidate is underdressed, they have just worn a shirt and it's not tucked in, they have not worn a belt, they are in normal shoes, casually presenting themselves, and another candidate has worn formal shirt, it's tucked in, he's well groomed, hair dressed, applied mild perfume, and has confidence in him when he's presenting things. So now when we talk about who's going to get selected, it is definitely candidate number 2 who has presented himself very well. So even though technical knowledge might be up or down, if someone is able to present themselves good with confidence, that creates a huge amount of trust, and it leads to higher chances of getting the interview. And also, if you are working in industry, then definitely you will have to present yourself very well so that you have higher chances of getting more deals, more clients, and more chances of presenting yourself in front of these kind of meetings. So while I was into investment banking for almost 3 years, I got a lot of opportunities to travel to client places to present things. Because I was able to present myself well, I was able to have a good communication skill. Whenever I was showing anything, it built trust because that was logically backed with things, and I was able to put things organized and within the timelines. So when you present doing things in this way, you will be given good opportunities and growth will be very fast. So that's about skill number 3, interpersonal. Moving on to skill number 4, it is flexibility and adaptability. Investment banking is an industry which is very dynamic. Like, it depends upon how the market conditions are. So if economic conditions of the country are good, like there's huge amount of liquidity in the market, banks are printing good amount of money, there are a lot of startups coming up, the businesses are flourishing, at that time there will be huge amount of deals that your investment bank would be getting. And at that time the strategy might be a bit different than compared to when the markets are slowed down, where there are less number of deals and the equity capital markets is not stable. Here there might be a shift between the industries that your investment bank might do. So for us, when I started in investment banking, it was more on the deals that were related to real estate, something related to old school business like manufacturing. But as time passed, more technology related business started coming up, AI related businesses were flourishing, and these clients were the ones who were ready to pay good amount of money because there was funding available in the market that investors were ready to pay to these clients, and they just needed someone who could get funding for them, and they might then grow their businesses. So that's how industry industry shift and deal types also change. So sometimes you would have to work in equity capital markets. When the market is flourishing, there are huge amount of deals, but when the market slows down, then you could also get shifted on the debt capital market side. Huge changes would not happen in a very big investment bank because there are multiple teams managing this all industries or deal types. But when we talk about boutique or mid market, there you have higher chances of getting this transition from one industry, one deal type to another. Now your responsibility as an investment banker is to adapt quickly to these kind of new situations, because you don't have a lot of time on hand to first learn things and then start implementing. It's on the job that you need to learn and start doing things. So here, make sure that you are staying updated with markets. Read financial newspapers like Economic Times, Live Mint, understand what's happening in stock market, interest rates, debt markets, deal markets, right? Are there big deals happening or not? And if you're seeing this constant trend, then definitely means that markets are good. But if you're seeing slowdown, then it means that markets are not doing well, and then you need to start looking out for what kind of changes can be done. That's not going to be your job if you are just starting out, but getting these kind of inputs from analyst position, people, seniors would be respecting you, right? So start building these kind of narratives whenever you are having these daily calls with your team members, and start discussing it during the meetings. Now, coming on to skill number 5, which is one of the most underrated skills of all time, listening. Now, this skill number 5 is going to be your lifesaver, because investment bankers who are at senior position, they have a habit of giving you instruction and giving you directions very, very fast. And you need to make sure that you understand it instantly, right? If you're not able to grasp with all of these things that they are telling you, you might miss out on deadlines, you might miss out on deliverables, your output might suffer, which leads to less credibility, and your growth might be hampered overall. So every time you work upon a deliverable, you would have to present it to your clients, to your seniors, and everyone would be sitting in a room and having a look at the deliverable that you have created. At this time, lot of inputs might be coming in from your seniors, from the client, and you need to make sure that you have a notepad with you. You are writing every instruction that is coming to you, because someone who's giving instruction, they are mentioning this point to be changed, but on the second time review, if you have not done those changes, then it is going to hamper your credibility that you don't make these changes that were mentioned to you. So make sure that you listen actively, you take notes, and you confirm understanding. Now, confirming understanding is a very important point. So at the end of these kind of meetings, make sure that you repeat whatever you have noted down, so that if you have missed on any point from the audience who are giving inputs, you are able to get their inputs. And then if you don't implement upon things, then you could say that I confirm with you and it might have slipped out from our understanding. I'll definitely get started on making the changes that were needed. So it's being safe on your side when you are confirming these feedback that you have taken. Now that way we complete all the top 5 soft skills that separate you from normal bankers. Now, one more bonus soft skill that we are going to give to you, which is like the most powerful: asking smart questions. Now, this is the skill that separates average candidates from the standout ones, and this skill is going to decide how you grow in the industry, whether you crack the interview, whether you are able to make relation with your client, with your seniors, and someone and people in the industry. So, asking right question shows your curiosity, that you are genuinely interested in the other person who is there in front of you, be it your seniors, be it your colleagues, be it your client. And when you are showing curiosity towards someone, it creates that bonding from the other side as well. It shows your confidence that you are listening to whatever they are saying, and you are cross questioning to make sure that you understand whatever is being put, and that overall results in clarity of having these kind of communication. So asking smart questions becomes like the ultimate thing that you could do during any kind of conversation, and it builds long lasting relation, which you definitely need in this industry. So a very quick story which we recently observed for one of our candidate who was being interviewed by a vice president for a valuation analyst role. And here during this interview, he asked a good amount of questions to the interviewer that was VP. And trust me, it takes a lot of guts to ask questions to someone who is like having 10 to 15 years into the industry. The question that he asked to the interviewer was, how has your experience been in this firm? Like, what advice would you give to someone who's starting as an analyst, and how would you rate this entire interview out of 10? Now, 99% of the candidates don't ask these kind of questions. They don't take feedback from the interviewer, and that is where he was able to stand out. He got this position. Now he's working at this particular company under the VP's team. So these are not easy questions to ask, right? Especially to someone who's a senior person. But that confidence made him stand out, and he got selected. So if you're someone who's not sure where you stand right now, whether it's communication, interviews, or overall investment banking readiness, we do a free one-on-one IB career strategy calls where you could connect with me and our team, where we identify your gaps and guide you exactly on what to improve next. You can book a slot using link in the description, and our team would reach out for further things. So these are the five skills: communication, organization, interpersonal skills, adaptability, and listening. And finally, the bonus skill of asking smart question, which is going to make you stand out from 99% of the people. Now, these soft skills are not optional for investment banking. They are critical part of your upskilling journey in investment banking, because investment banking will need the combination of hard skills and soft skills. Only if you focus only on one thing, then that might be a lack in your overall profile, because breaking into investment banking is not just about knowledge, it's about building the right mix of skills and your mindset. And soft skills, make sure that you have that mindset put in front of them. Now, most of you would have question like, how do I ask these smart questions? What kind of questions do I put? For you, we have created a free resource which includes smart questions you can ask in interviews. And alongside that, we have also created questionnaire that you could use while you are working on financial models with your client. You can download this free resource from link in the description, and that would be a game changer for your career growth ahead. So if you start building these skills early, you will not just crack interviews, you'll perform better once you enter the industry. Now, if you have found this video valuable, make sure that you like and subscribe to Encoding Careers for more such insights on investment banking careers. Also, do let us know your recommendation in the comments on what kind of videos do you want from us, and we will make sure that we bring it out as soon as possible. So that is it for this video. Until then, this is Karan Damania taking your leave.